Shabbat Shalom. Taste of the Seder, Adirhu. Welcome, everyone. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It's so good to be back and to see faces who I love and adore and to be in this beautiful community. Tonight, we have Rena, who's accompanying us, and Simon and Nick. And in a moment, you'll get a chance to turn around and say Shabbat Shalom to the people around you. But we're going to be singing Shalom Aleichem to bring in the angels. And we always bring in the angels every week. But, you know, when we did our Seder, the Haggadah was very clear that God, with a mighty hand, freed us from Egypt. But yet, if you look in Deuteronomy, it says that God tells the Israelites that God is sending an angel in front of the Israelites. And the angel is going to guide them through the desert, and that we're supposed to listen to what the angel is telling us to do. And we think, oh, we Jews, we don't believe in angels. The word for angel is malach, or messenger. And as we're singing Shalom Aleichem, I'd like you to think about the messengers in your life, and maybe a messenger, someone who you know deeply, or maybe someone who was just a side thought this week, who somehow helped you. Maybe it was someone who hosted you. Maybe it was someone who you sat next to during the Seder. Maybe it was someone who you called the week of Passover and wished them a Chag Sameach. Or maybe it was someone in this room who greeted you that you didn't realize would be there for you. Who are the angels in your life? We'll sing Shalom Aleichem and then we'll share some of that. So we're on page 11, Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Kadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu Nile Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Tzitchem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei
Zach Messenger is going to be a bar mitzvah in mid-May. I'd like to invite him up with his parents to light candles. And as he's coming up, turn to someone who is not right next to you that you might not know. Introduce yourself and share an angel who was with you this week. Who was an angel who was with you?
Wait for her though, and then you'll light left and right. I think it's on the bottom, right?
Yeah. The very bottom?
Oh.
No. It's not on.
Where do you light it?
Okay, we're going to come together and light the candles. This room is so crowded right now. We have so many angels in here with us. It's so crowded. So bring the angels with us as we light the Shabbat candles. Okay, Zach.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Page 21, Kabbalat Shabbat. We slowly review the week with all of the cleaning we did for Passover and all of the preparation and all of the singing and the eating and the community going from slavery to freedom and just being on the precipice of that journey. Shiru Ladonai, Shir Hadash, page 21. Page 22, Ya'alo Sedai. Ya'alo Sedai, v'chol asher bo Ya'alo Sedai. Ay, 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 Ya'alo Sedai, v'chol asher bo Ya'alo Sedai. Ay, 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 az yiralanu. Page 29 as we welcome in Shabbat and the Shabbat bride with a Lecha Dodi, written by our local Craig Talman. Lecha Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Penei Shabbat Nikabela. Lecha Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Penei Shabbat Nikabela. Likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nikabela. Shamor v'zachor bedibor echad. Ishmi'anu el meyuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. L'shem ol tiferet v'liti la 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 lecha dodi. Likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nikabela.
lecha lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei b'nei Shabbat likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki hi mekor ha'beracha merosh mikedem nesucha sof ma'aseh b'machshava la 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 lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei b'nei Shabbat nikabela lecha lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei b'nei Shabbat hit oreri
Next page, page 30.
ki ba'orei kumi uri shir daberi kevod Adonai alaik nila la la lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela boi b'shalom ateret bala gam b'simcha u'b'tzala toch emunei am segula boi chala lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. We remain standing for the Baruch Hu.
Page 36. Let's face east toward Israel.
La 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 la
Page 36, the blessing over creation. Have you noticed how long the sun is out in the sky? How you wake up in the morning and it's light out, hopefully? And how even tonight it's still light out. This is the blessing of the sun and the moon and the stars. Please join me. 36. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhmah potach she'arim, uvitvuna mishanei tim, umachalif et hazmanim, umisader et hakochavim b'mishmeroteha berakira kitzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi layla, umavdil bein yom uvein layla, Adonai Tzvaot Shemo, El Chai v'Kayam Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Leolam Va'ed, Baruch Ata Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. Havat Olam Beit Yisrael, a prayer about love. Rabbi Shai Held, who is the Rosh Yeshiva of Hadar, an egalitarian yeshiva in New York City, wrote a book called Judaism is About Love. And when he introduced this concept to his students, they pushed back at him and said, no, Christianity is all about love. Judaism's not about love. And he said, I beg to differ. Judaism is also about love. And he talks about love in so many different ways. And one of my favorite ways he talks about it is about commitment. And sometimes the spark and the joy and the excitement that you have with another person waxes and wanes. But if the commitment remains, that is a way of actively showing your love. And Ahavat Olam is all about that. Please join us.
Page 37. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amecha Ahavta, Amcha Ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochveinu ufkumenu nasiach b'chukecha v'nizmach b'divrei Toratecha u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed ki hem chayenu v'yorech yameinu uvahem nege yomam v'layla, nege yomam v'layla. V'ahavatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Ohev amo Yisrael. Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta ba'am v'shivtecha v'techa uvletecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha uv'tartam le'od al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha uv'tavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'yisharecha leman tiskeru ve'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yidhem kedoshim le'elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher atzeiti ethem me'eretz Mitzrayim ayot lahem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Elohechem.
When we crossed the Sea of Reeds, we gained our freedom. And there are lots of teachings from the rabbis about why we deserve to be free. One teaching is that we just cried out. And up until that point, we hadn't complained. Can you imagine a bunch of Jews not complaining? I don't get that, but that is one of the teachings. Another teaching, interestingly enough, is that we kept 4 of our traditions. We kept our language, we didn't change our names, we kept our dress, and we kept our moral ethics. And at my Seder, I asked everyone, what is important to you to preserve about Judaism and why? What is important to you to preserve about Judaism and why? And it fostered a really interesting conversation. Everyone had different things to say. And as we sing Mi Chamocha, it's important to think about that. You have your freedom. You're able to celebrate your Judaism in whatever way you want to. And there's a reason why you're doing it the way you're doing it. And there's something that you want to pass on, whether it's to your children or to your friends or to your community or to the world. So let's join Mi Chamocha, page 39. Shamru B'nai Yisrael, page 41.
Shamru B'nai Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam berit olam v'shamru B'nai Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam berit olam Beini uvein B'nai Yisrael oti leolam oti leolam v'shamru B'nai Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam berit olam ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz v'shamru B'nai Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam berit olam uvayom hashvi shavat vayinafash shavat vayinafash shavat vayinafash v'shamru B'nai Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat
44, we rise for the Amidah. On the one hand, this is the easiest part of the service, and on the other hand, this is the most demanding. It's the easiest part because if you don't know Hebrew and if you don't know the prayers, it doesn't matter, because the whole goal is to open up your heart and soul and speak your truth. The hard part is that we need to speak our truth. We take 3 steps back for Adonai Tzifatay Titach, to make room in our hearts and in this space for God's presence.
Adonai Tzifatay Tiftach ufi hagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam.
Page 49.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol et uvechol shar bishlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
We end our Amidah with a Mishaberach, a prayer for healing. I know some of us are here because of a yortzeit, and some of us are here because you're recently in mourning. And then others of us are holding illnesses of those we love, or maybe our own illnesses that we're grappling with. So we're bringing all of that into the room now, all of us into the room now, as we offer Mishaberach. And if there are names that you'd like to say out loud, please do so as I look around the room. Page 239 in the middle of the page.
Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah Yivorech v'Yirapeh et hacholim
We have a lot of things going on, even though it's Pesach. We have a men's Seder that is happening on April 7th. You can go online and sign up for that. And on April 9th, at a private home, we're doing a breaking the end of Passover with a pasta party at somebody's house, but I can't tell you whose it is because you have to sign up for it, and then we'll send you the information. And we're also going to be doing Yisker at that breaking the Passover. So if you want to come to that, please sign up for that. And then on April 13th, which is, I believe, a Monday, we're going to commemorate Yom HaShoah, and there'll be a short film and then a panel. And then on April 17th, which is a Friday night, we'll be celebrating Shabbat and also Yom Ha'atzmaut in Israel. So those are all the things that are going on. They should be in your pamphlets. Which one, the top one or the bottom one? Okay, thank you. For those of you who don't know, I have been on sabbatical the past 3 months, and today is my first night back after being away for 3 months. So it's great to be back. Thank you. I'm just trying to figure all this out. Here we go. All right. And I'm going to use the word to describe my past 3 months in one word, which is spaciousness. That I really have to admit I have never experienced the kind of spaciousness I experienced these past 3 months. And it was very important to me. I didn't realize how much I needed it and how wound up I was. And how overwhelmed I was, because when you're in the midst of it, you really don't know, and you have to step away to actually gain some perspective. So yes, I did things that nourished my heart, and I looked myself in the mirror and said, okay, what will nourish your heart, And that was being with friends, being with family, being in New York City, and being in Israel. So I did all of that. And also, I love art, as many of you know. And so in New York, I went to a different art gallery and a different museum exhibit every single day, and just like sucked it up. And I saw a different friend every day in New York, and it was 2 degrees, and I made it. And then from New York, I went to Israel, which was good because I was already, on that coast. And I went from 2 degrees to 70 degrees. And I was there in between the wars. And the reason why I go like that is because even though the Iran war hadn't started, everyone knew it was looming. And also everyone admitted when you were in Israel that the Gaza war really wasn't over. So it was complicated. It was beautiful. I saw 3 different congregants in Israel who have made Aliyah, and one of whom is a family who both of their daughters were killed on October 7th. So I spent a dinner crying with the mom and other congregants. And it was a really crazy experience being there, because if you don't know anyone in Israel and you just walk around the street, you think, wow, this is great. All the cafes are open and people are walking with their babies and everyone's pregnant and it's so alive. And then as soon as you sit down with everyone, you realize how absolutely traumatized they are. And if you don't have friends there and you're not really talking to anyone, you don't quite get what's going on there. I'm sure, Donna, you can relate to this. Yeah, she has a child there. But all the more so, it actually really nourished me to be there and to be with our people. And I love that country just like I love this country. And I'm deeply frustrated with it, just like I'm deeply frustrated with this country. So I'm a Zionist, and I went, and I was, so grabbed by the heart and stomach by being there. And then I actually took 1 week in Mexico with a girlfriend and did a yoga retreat. And that was really nourishing as well. So lots of travels, lots of art and family. And the spaciousness happened in a really unpredictable way, is that I realized how much I was attached to my computer and my phone, and how much everyone else is as well. And so I started sitting in the subways in New York, sitting on the plane to Israel and to New York, and just sitting in my backyard, just sitting. I didn't have a device. I didn't pick up a device. When I felt the urge to, I just stopped. And I looked around the subway and the plane, and I realized everyone else is so attached to their items, to their screens. And it was really cleansing for 3 months, to really just take that break. The final thing I just wanted to say is I also looked myself in the mirror and realized what was very important to me, which was family and learning. And so I have 2 chavrutas. Every Monday I spend like 3.5 hours studying with my 2 chavrutas, one on the Torah portion of the week and one on the Talmud. And I kept on studying all through my sabbatical, because that's what nourishes me and that's what gives me excitement in life. So that was also an interesting experiment. Like I was like, oh no, I don't want to give up that. So to think about that as well for yourself. And this sense of spaciousness and flexibility allowed me to say yes a lot when I normally say no. So I normally use my work as an excuse to say no. No, I don't have time. No, I can't do that. No, I can't pick up that. No, I can't make that phone call. No, I can't fix that. And when I was on sabbatical, I had to say yes a lot. I didn't have to, but I chose to. And that was also interesting, to feel what that felt like, to say yes a lot and not to have an excuse of work to fall back on. So all of that spaciousness sort of leads me to Pesach, because Pesach is a lot about spaciousness and freedom. But it's not freedom that is just like, oh, good for you, you're free. But it's freedom that comes with responsibility. And that's why we tie Passover to Shavuot, right? Passover is the celebration of freedom, and Shavuot is 49 days later, which is the celebration of receiving Torah or law. So with freedom and no law is chaos. And with law and no freedom is a totalitarian environment, right? So we have to have the balance, and the rabbis connected these two holidays by a process of counting the days. And there are 7 days in the week, and there are 7 weeks, so there's 7 times 7. And the rabbis associated each day with a different midah, a different sort of focus that you can focus on. And the whole point is to slowly take ourselves from freedom to responsibility. So actually what we did the past 2 nights was really only step 1. Like we think, oh, we're done. Well, okay, we're not totally done. We still have 8 days of Passover or 7 days, however you keep it. But actually, it's really Shavuot that is sort of the exclamation point at the end of this whole process. So I want to share with you something that I created for each one of us. And it is an Omer calendar. Okay? I have one for most every people, but not for everyone. I counted. I didn't make enough. So if you're a family or you're a couple, just take one, okay? And then hopefully people will have enough. And give me the extras, and I can share with Rena and the people up here. Any extras? Okay. So maybe you remember. Okay, great. Maybe you remember during the 10 days. No. During the 40 days of Elul, which is the month leading up to the high holidays. The month leading up to the high holidays plus the 10 days between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. I also gave you a worksheet, those of you who were here. And so this is the second worksheet I'm giving you. And you can put it on your mirror in your bedroom or above your coffee maker, where, you know, anywhere. You're not allowed to say a blessing in the bathroom, so that's why I'm telling you not to do it in the bathroom. Because I did my other thing for Elul in the bathroom, but there's no blessing. But this has a blessing. And I realize people online can't hear me. So this Omer calendar breaks it up for you. So you can see that tonight we start day 2. Do you see that? It says Friday, April 3rd. But you know how Jewish people, how we do, it starts the Erev, right? So tomorrow is day 2. So that means tonight, when we count the Omer, we will say that it is day 2 in a moment. And you can see that each day is assigned a different midah. So on the back of your sheet, you'll see that I defined these attributes. So tomorrow is chesed with gevurah, or gevurah with chesed. Gevurah, you can see, is strength, discipline, restraint. And chesed is expansiveness and love. So however you want to interpret what tonight and tomorrow is, you can. I interpret Givurah with chesed, meaning that sort of like what I was talking about before with Rabbi Shai Held, is that chesed is this overflowing goodness and love, and Givurah is maintaining that even when you don't feel it, right? And so each day has a different way of looking at things. And what I'm going to do this year is I'm going to try to think about one aspect of my life, which I already thought about during the Seder, that is sort of tender for me, that I'm struggling with, that I need to hold gently, that maybe for me doesn't make me so happy. It makes me a little bit sad. And I said to a girlfriend, but what do I do with my sadness? I don't want to like dwell in it every day. And she said, well, how about, Michelle, if every day when you count the Omer, you can hold tenderly that sadness and bring it with you with your intention. And then when you're done, you can put it down gently and let it go. You're not going to let it go, but you'll put it down. And every day for 49 days, you'll give that piece of yourself that you're struggling with, you'll give that some airtime and see what happens. See if the spaciousness and the attention that you're giving it will transform it in some way for you. I don't know what the answer is, but I'm putting it out there for all of us to try. So if you could imagine, I'll give you a moment to think about one aspect of your life that you might be struggling with, that you want to bring your attention to for the next 49 days. And it's traditional to rise when we count the Omer, so please rise. And on the back of the page, you'll see the blessing. We'll do it in Hebrew and in English, and then we'll fill in the right numbers. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, force, power, source of the universe, who makes us holy with mitzvot and invites us to count the Omer. Today is the second day of the Omer, which is 0 weeks and 2 days of the Omer. Yesher koach to all of us, and we will continue doing that. You can do it on your own at home every day, and we'll continue on Friday nights to do that as well. We continue on page 282 with Aleinu, and we remain standing. 282.
Don hakol latet gedula liotzer breshit shelo asanu kigoye haratzot velo samanu kimishbechot adama shelo samchalkenu kahem vigor aleinu kechol amonam v'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu V'nemar V'haya Adonai L'melech al kol haaretz Bayom hahu Yeh Adonai echad U'shemo echad.
Be seated. This week we remember the yahrzeits of Sadie Fisher, Samuel Golter, Stephen Horowitz, Irving Kaminer, Shirley Kext Cohen, Marvin Lanter, Joan Liebman, Beatrice Linnell, Norman Levine, Alexander Litvak, Marilyn Meyer, Stephanie Mitchell, Nora Page, Theodore Schwarz, and Raquel Tepliskaya. Also, during these 30 days of Shloshim, we've laid to rest Michael Denman, Harvey Hoff, Lynette Langman, and Sheldon Tobias. And recently, we've laid to rest, just this week, Yigal Zaks. If I left anyone out, please let me know. If you're in the first year of mourning, please rise. We remember your mom, remember your dad. And if I mentioned a name, please rise, those of you who are remembering a loved one. And if you want to rise with the mourners to support them, you're welcome to, if it's your custom. Page 292. You can also stay seated if it's not your custom. Page 292. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divrach hirutei v'almich malchutei, b'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayei tekol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kari v'imru, Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam al me'al maya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudashah, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru. Amen. Like to invite Zach back up to lead us in Kiddush and Motzi. We have two people who are here for the first time, Stephen and Jimmy. Be nice to them. Say hello. Introduce yourself. They're not scary people. They're very lovely. And let's join Zach in Kiddush and Motzi. Page 294.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri haga'afen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinhilanu zikaron lema'aseh bereishit Kivu yom tehila lemikra kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim kivanu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon Chinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
L'chaim. Is that wine or grape juice? What's in it? Is it wine or grape juice?
It's always juice. It's always
He's
juice.
driving. I had to be careful.
Thank you for asking.
All right.
Zach is smart enough not to become bar mitzvah tomorrow when he doesn't get any challah, so we just get matzah tonight.
Sorry to disappoint you. Welcome to being Jewish.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz
B'te'avon. Thank you, Rena and Rick and Simon and Zach. Crunch away. You can put down your prayer books for our final song as we sing out Shabbat. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Welcome back, Rabbi Michelle.